3.
Alright, let's be honest. If someone were to approach you right now and say, hey, here's $3 million. As long as you don't have to fight Floyd Mayweather's grandson in the ring, you're absolutely going to take it. Now let's take it a step further and imagine you've been working your absolute ass off as an artist and an A&R approaches you with the biggest opportunity of your life. For those of you who are unaware, an A&R by definition is an artist and repertoire, which is basically a division of a record label that does talent scouting. Basically, they get paid to find good artists and sign to their label. For example, somebody scouted out Jade, Kush in the adult film industry, and whoever found that woman needs an absolute raise. But back to my question. The A&R approaches you with a massive opportunity to sign with the label, giving you an advance of up to, let's say $2 million. Now you sign and get that advance money. What's your next step? Believe it or not, your next step would completely determine your entire career most of the time. See, sometimes artists will get this massive sum of money and just fucking blow it. Ask T-Pain what happened to him when he was huge in the late 2000s. In fact, we'll actually get into that later. But what does this have to do with longevity? Well, you get this money and then you buy your mom a house, you get the chain you've always wanted with the Cuban link and the VVs, you get yourself a house, get all the nice drip that you never thought you would be able to afford, a super nice car that you really don't even need, and then boom, you just ran out of money. Uh-oh, your music isn't as good as you thought it was and you can't pay your label back immediately. Go ahead and get on Indeed.com because you're fucking done. Nah, but realistically, you are gonna have to pay that money back. This is if you made the mistake of spending all that money without your music being good enough to cover the expenses the label gave you. Now you're a slave. Now what I'm hoping for is that there's at least one person watching this video that instead of thinking about what they could buy with those millions of dollars, they immediately thought about what they can invest in with those millions. Let's say you have a good 1-year run with your music and you're lucky enough to immediately recuperate that money that the label has loaned you, right? After that year run, you can stop right then and there, unless you're in a handful album deal, which sometimes can work out really well but also really bad. Take Yeet for example, which let's be honest might be a reach because this dude has a whole sound attached to his name and you're not doing that. Think about all the people that make Yeet type music or this sounds like Yeet. This man definitely recuperated whatever the label gave him, which after doing some research was at least over $6 million. That's a lot of fucking bread. So he probably too much didn't have to worry about owing any money back because his fan base rides for him. I'm not gonna say he got lucky because obviously he's really talented and it's well deserved. But here's the thing, Yeet could literally stop making music right now and be set for the rest of his life. Hell, realistically, he'll probably never have to work a job ever again. This is why longevity really doesn't matter because he's only been around for what, 2 years? Got another question for you. Do you think that Yeet will still be at the point he's at right now in 5 years? Me personally, I'm gonna say no. Now in 2028, you can come back to this video and either I'll look like a dumbass that didn't know what the hell I was talking about, or I'll be right. We'll just see. Let's look at another example. Someone like Lil Pimp.
The big superstars of the world, Lil Pimp.
Hello everybody, how you guys feeling?
Where literally everyone knew that his fast food ass music was not going to last long at all. Now be real with yourself for a second. Just because Lil Pimp fell off, do you think he's broke? Because he isn't. While yes, he did finesse his way out of his deal, his story still ends the same for him. He's still got more money than most people will probably ever see in their lifetime. I'm not glazing by the way, I'm just keeping it real. J. Cole dissed Pump in his song 1985. If you want to know more about that, just watch this video, it explains it super well. But long story short, J. Cole said that rappers like Lil Pump and Smoke Perp have no longevity and they'll eventually fall off, which he was absolutely correct. They didn't and they did. But here's the thing, they still have money. So long story short, does it really matter that they didn't last super long? I mean, they're still successful, they've still got their money, and their situation is completely fine.
Do you feel like he predicted kind of like what ended up happening with your rap career?
Nope.
No.
Because I'm still here. I own
I'm not
two
saying
houses.
that I'm not saying that you're not like still fucking rich and successful. I just mean in terms of like.
Let's take it back a little bit more though. Ayo and Teo released Rolex in 2017, and I'm not going to sing that fucking song, but you know what song I'm talking about, bro. That song was everywhere. They started their little rap career and it literally went nowhere, let's be honest. But that song made them so much money that it didn't even matter that they didn't last. Now again, these kids are completely fine. They got their bread, so does it really matter that their longevity wasn't that long, but they're still successful? I mean, let's be real. You can step in the game as long as you don't waste your money, and you will be completely fine for the rest of your life, especially if you have a hustler's mentality. Like, bruh, really think about it. If you got handed $500 right now, would you go spend it, or would you immediately think about turning it into $5,000? Like I said earlier, your answer would determine your rap career. You can be successful off of a longer rap career because 3 to 4 years in, you've probably turned that money into way more money. You learn more the longer you're in the industry. Nobody, not me or you, would go into it knowing exactly what mistakes not to make, because mistakes are what help you grow. Now, to play devil's advocate to myself, longevity in rap music isn't just about money, obviously. It's about if people will keep listening to your next album if you drop an album and it's received semi-well. Will people come back to it, pretty much? Think about this. People, well, not just people, really old heads were absolutely hating on Lil Uzi Vert back in 2016, and pretty much most of the quote-unquote mumble rappers.
There's a huge disconnect between the adults and kids of hip-hop.
Yeah.
The album that most adults, not me, but the album that most adults said, this shit sucks, I don't ever want to hear this from Kanye West again. The kids were all like, this is finally
was
the
the
Kanye West I was waiting for. Boom, hip-hop divides. Old and young, right there.
And it was such a cringe era, all of these people saying that mumble rap is destroying hip-hop. But now look at Uzi, bruh. He's fucking massive. And how did he do that? Was it longevity, as in him having to change his sound in order to stay relevant? Or was it because he was just talented and the old heads didn't get it yet? I mean, obviously Uzi's songs don't sound anywhere near the same as they do back in 2016, but I bet my whole life savings that an old head couldn't even tell the fucking difference. See, you really gotta think about this shit. I'm really spitting right now. It doesn't matter if your music doesn't have longevity. If you're talented, you'll prosper in the industry and in a material sense. Let's take it back to the money thing again though, right? When T-Pain was coming out all the way back in like 2007, mad people were saying that auto-tune was destroying hip-hop. Jay-Z would even diss him on his song saying, "You niggas singing too much, get back to rap, you two painting too much." Corny ass bar. It's crazy because look at how similar that situation was to the Uzi and Pump thing, right? Guess where T-Pain is right now? Monetarily comfortable, aka he's rich. Now, he did go broke at one point because he wasted all of his money, but we ain't talking about that right now. We're talking about the fact that he's completely fine at this point, even with his music career not being what it once was. From that story alone, history literally keeps repeating itself, and the long short of it is that nobody cares about longevity except for people who just have such a deep passion for rap that they want to make an impact, and old heads. Now, standing on the other side of my opinion, I completely get why certain people care about longevity. I really do. I mean, you start rapping for two reasons. It's your passion, or you just don't want to work a regular job. Now, you line up a bunch of huge rappers currently popular, and I'd love to know why they started rapping. Some people just want to make it out the hood, some people are just good at it. The other side of this opinion is that longevity does matter because music is digested so quickly these days. It's all extremely oversaturated to the point to where you could be a massive hit on TikTok today and they'll forget about you 4 days from now. Literally the simplest way to explain fast food music. And while it may be a problem to some, I honestly kind of like it. I mean, it gives a lot more room for more artists to just go up quickly with good songs, but the bad side is that you just don't last as an artist, or you're easily forgettable, which can be cool if you're okay with it, or it can be bad. Like, for example, right? Wait, who could I hate on?
You need to hate on Young Chris.
Why?
Do you listen to Young Chris?
Well, no.
That's my point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait.
Huh?
Are you the evil version of me?
No, this is just a skit. Or you're like a clone, pretty much.
Oh, okay. Okay, man, I got it. For example, Young Chris. By the way, I hate the way you spell your name. It looks like a gamer tag in a fucking COD lobby. That's funny coming from a guy named UVXCX. Now, have you listened to Young Chris's biggest song, Blood on the Leaves, this week? Now, pay attention in the comments because someone's about to lie. You have not listened to that song in a while, I'm gonna assume. And if I'm wrong, whatever, but I doubt I'm wrong. This is the best example of a huge song with zero longevity because there's no way you're cutting that shit on in the whip. And if you do, it's only because you're like, hey guys, remember this song? It was everywhere. And now it's not. This would be the issue old heads would bring up about longevity. When the mumble rap era was becoming bigger, everyone was quick to say Lil Yachty's name first, and it's funny because Yachty may not be where he once was, but he's definitely still around, even when people to this day still says his music doesn't have longevity. Makes no sense. At the end of the day, as an artist, longevity of rap is situational, right? You either care about people remembering you and leaving a legacy,
Leave a legacy. Remember that.
I'm sorry. If you watch this video, you'll get that joke. Or you just care about getting your money. Turning that money into more money when your music isn't hitting everyone's ears like how it used to, and being completely comfortable in life after you've gotten that massive advance. If I signed to a label, which I never would unless the deal was 80 me, 20 them, and I only had to do like 2 albums or some shit, me personally, I wouldn't care about longevity. I'd be in it because I love money. And that's why I'm not a rapper, I'm just a YouTuber that sits in his room and hates on everything from a distance. Later.
I just look down at my wrist and see my diamonds bust. I just look down at my wrist and see my diamonds. I just look down at my wrist and see my diamonds bust. When I come around,
by the end of this shit, then we got
I just look